Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm wearing slightly different clothes than last time you saw me. The weather's turned. It's one of the biggest spring tides of the year today, and it just so happens to coincide with a decent bit of onshore swell due to the wind. There's a nice bit of color in the water, and it's quite overcast today, so fingers crossed there'll be a few fish in the bay drawn in by the conditions. If there's no fish in the bay, I'll fish the point. It's a little bit wet there at the moment with some waves coming over once in a while. It's pretty windy too, so yeah, a little bit more comfortable with a good chance of fish here in the bay. If that doesn't pan out, you'll see me on the point. And if that doesn't pan out, you won't see this video. Okay, right. We've just got a basic paternoster rig with a rotten bottom on the weight. And we got a little bit of squid and crab just there with a glow bead on a dingle dangle, and yeah, nice big circle hook. So I'll get this out. We'll see how we get on. I'm gonna need to service this multiplier. Sounded like a bag of nails. Alright, that'll do for a first chuck. Just set a timer. And first bit of decent swell of the season, so there's a high chance it's going to dislodge quite a lot of weed that's been growing over the summer. So I'm just going to loosen off my drag just a little bit. See RNLI boys going out for a bit of practice in this rough weather. Well, hopefully there's not somebody in trouble. Alright, I'll put that on the ratchet. I'll do. Alright. If anything happens, I'll bring you back. Just had a big pull down, but most likely explanation is that a big clump of weed just hit my line. Alright, it's been about 15 minutes. Seems to be some knocks. Time to change your bait anyway, so let's have a feel for this. Feels like a big clump of weed. It's not fighting back, so yeah. I think I've just hooked into a big pile of weed. Oh, no, here we are. First caught of the season. Nice fish as well. Looks about 4 pound. It's a nice red cod. So this is a cod that's been here all summer. There we go. Yeah, it looks to be not 4 pound. No, maybe 2.5, 3 pounds, something like that. That's a good size eating fish though, so I'm gonna get this dispatched and I'll fire another bait out. Right, another bait out. Just tighten up a little. Okay. Just loosen that off, put it on the ratchet in case a really big bit of weed comes by. Don't want to lose my rod. That's a nice kelpie. Look how deep red that is. This fish will have been growing throughout the summer. It's not migrated out to spawn, it's just stayed in the local area. And that's a really nice table-sized fish, so yeah, I'm really pleased with that. The conditions made sense to me. It's just very early in the season, so despite the migratory kind of fresh run cod, which are a sort of a yellow golden color, it seems to me that these conditions do draw in the local fish as well, so that's good to know. And hopefully you can see the tip. You can see the tips now just moving rhythmically with the swell. So you see that. You see if it goes down slowly or if it goes down fast. If it then recovers smoothly, very likely not to be a fish. When a fish is shaking its head, the rod will recover very quickly. So you don't have to worry about a false indication. Just keep an eye on your rod tip. Alright, so looking at this bait that's just come through, the fish was really nicely hooked in the corner of the mouth, and that's because I'm using a circle with a dingle dangle here. You can see there's actually quite a lot of bait left on the dingle dangle. But I would say if you're spending all the time and money to come out fishing, I think the ratchet's going. Is that another fish? Might be weed on the line with a bit of swell. If I see a good head shake, I'll pick up the rod. Okay. No, that's not it yet. Bit more difficult to say in these sort of swirly conditions. Anyway, as I was saying, even though there's bait left on here, you spend all that time and money and fuel coming out fishing, there's absolutely no point throwing out a bait that's not pristine, fresh, full of scent. You're just lessening your chances, and I think to me fishing is all about gaining little percents of chance of catching a fish. Over the years, as I've gotten more experienced, I've noticed that all the little things do add up, and they do lead to more fish. So it pays to pay attention to the details. It really pays off. Get a fresh bait on there, even though it looks pretty good still. It's been out 15-20 minutes. That might be a fish. I'm going to rebait this one if I don't feel head shakes, I'll rebait it and then be good to go if I do see head shakes and there is a fish. Sometimes it's good to just pick up the rod, have a feel, see if you can feel what's going on. Okay, it's a maybe. It's the definite, it's a maybe. It's hard to tell. Okay, I think there might be a fish on. Right. Very well could be here. Good bit of weight on the rod. Plenty of weed coming up the line. Another fish. Caught on the lip again. That's the advantage of circle hooks. You get a really good hook hold. Does less damage to the fish if you want to put it back as well. Come on, buddy. Come here. Alright. This one's a bit smaller. I would say that's only about a pound. Maybe a pound and a bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them back over the side. There's no point keeping fish that are not going to give you much meat for the table, and you're just depleting the stocks. This one's been through the wars. You can see something's had to go at it here. Big scar running down it. There as well. Something's had this in its jaws. Right, I'm going to pop them back. All right, off he goes. Like I was saying, a bit weedy out there. All this getting torn up, all this new growth from the summer. Again, you know, this bait's looking pretty good, but I'm gonna bait up again. I'm gonna rebait the other one. I think I've picked up a big patch of weed, or maybe I'm on a bit of like a shallower bit of ground. A lot more swell action going on at the moment. See? Yeah. Just going to bait up real quick. Don't think that's a fish at all. Alright, I'm going to bring this in, swap out the bait, cast a bit further to the left, see how much weed we've picked up. Oh, it doesn't want to move. There we go. Might be a fish on here. Maybe there was a fish getting pushed around by the swell. If it is a fish, feels a bit like the first one. Hard to tell in these conditions because you could have a small fish and a lot of weed. Okay, got leader. Alright. If it is a fish, it's decent. Oh, oh geez. Too big for the slush 30 to even crank up. Decent fish. Nope, just an absolute monstrous piece of weed. Look at that. Okay. Well, well, I think that's my PB weed. Look at that. Yeah, so it seems pretty weeded out towards the right hand side. Easiest thing to do would be to unclip. If you can find the clip, there we are. Right. Okay. Whew. We'll deal with that in a second. Trying to get this other bait out that I was just doing. All right. Whew. It's been a while since I cast a multiplier, probably since last cod season. So February. Oh, it's not going too badly. A little bit of a fluff up just now, but nothing unmanageable. Alright. If you can see the tip, you'll see it's a lot more stationary. It was just getting beat up over there. It must be where all the weeds collecting. Okay. Yeah, we're fishing. I'll loosen up the drag just a little bit. Get that on the ratchet. Alright, we're fishing. Nope, this weed. Alright. That's the swell hitting my line. I'm gonna have a peep over the wall, but it's very likely time to move. Yep, I think it might be time to move. Alright, a couple chucks off the pier. I'll call it a day. Bring you back. Alright, I've made the move. A little bit more uncomfortable here. Wind's coming in. Straight into the face. But I'll just do like maybe 2 chucks here, 3 chucks. Same rig as before. I'll just reset the sled and I'll cast out. No idea where that landed. Another dodgy cast. I think until I get used to this multiplier again, I'm gonna have to put another brake block in because it's still a bit uncontrollable. Much better to lose some distance and but be fishing effectively than to max out your distance, but you know, be fluffing up and at risk of a crack off. Okay. Just setting my ratchet up. There's a little bit of movement from the tide now, and there's weed in the water, so same again, I don't want the risk of my rod getting pulled in or pulled over and cracking the guide. So just set your ratchet. Well, it's just setting my ratchet so it's safe to fish. All right, that's that then. I'll set a timer. So what time's it now? Okay. Yeah, it's going to be an early one, I think. I'll bait up this other rig and yeah, I'll bring you back if anything happens. All right, nothing happening. Okay, so we've had no joy up here on the pier. I'm gonna call it a night. It's been pretty good though. I've had 2 fish, put one back, get one for the table. Nice 3 or 4 pounder. So we'll get some good fillets off of that. Really good start to the season. It's been really nice to get out casting the multiplier. It's not been it's been a bit of a challenge in this wind, and with me taking out one of the 2 brake blocks earlier in my hubris. But yeah, otherwise it's been a pretty good session. I've enjoyed it despite the weather. It's quite nice to be out, in the dark, fishing for cod again. You know, something I look forward to every year. So yeah, hope to see you again soon for another cod fishing session.